Good morning everyone. Today date is 15th November 2022 and day is Tuesday. So today we are going to read from the book Tamil Nadu History Higher Secondary First Year. So let's begin. Lesson 1, India Geographical features and their impact on history. It is generally said that history has two eyes. One is chronology and the other is geography. In other words, time and space are significant factors in determining the historical process. In particular, a country's geography largely determines its historical event. The history of India is also influenced by its geography. Hence, the study of Indian geographical features contributes to the better understanding of its history. The Indian subcontinent is a well-defined geographical unit. It may be divided into three major regions. First, Himalayan mountain. Second, Indo-Gangetic plain and the southern peninsula. There are 5 countries in the subcontinent: India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal and Bhutan. India is the largest among them and it comprises 28 states and 6 union territories. According to the 2001 census, the population of India is over 100 crore. First, Himalayan mountains. The Himalayan mountains are situated on the north of India, starting from the Pamir in the extreme northwest of India. The mighty Himalayan range extends towards northern. It has a length of nearly 2560 kilometers with an average breadth of 240 to 320 kilometers. The highest peak of the Himalaya is known as Mount Everest, with its height begins 8869 meters. It acts as a natural wall and protects the country against the cold Arctic wind blowing from Siberia through Central Asia. This keeps the climate to northern India fairly warm throughout the year. The Himalayan region is mostly inhospitable in winter and generally covered with snow. It was considered for a long time that the Himalayan stood as a natural barrier to protect India against invasions, but the passes in the northwest mountain, such as the Khyber, Bolan, Khurram, and Gomal, provided easy route between India and Central Asia. These passes are situated in the Hindu Kush, Suleiman, and Kirtar range from prehistoric times. There was a continuous flow of traffic through these passes. Many people came to India through these passes as invaders and immigrants. The Indo-Aryan and Indo-Greek, Parthian, Sakas, Kusanas, Hunas, and Tars entered India through these passes. The Swat Valley in this region formed another important route. Alexander of Macedon came to India through this route. Apart from invading armies, missionaries and merchants came to India using these routes. Therefore, these passes in the northwest mountains had facilitated trade as well as culture contact between India and the Central Asia. In the north of Kashmir is Karakoram Range, the second highest peak in the world. Mountain Godwin Austen is situated here. This part of the Himalayas and its passes are high and snow covered in the winter. The Karakoram Highway via Gilgit is connected to Central Asia, but there was little communication through this route. The valley of Kashmir is surrounded by high mountains. However, it could be reached through several passes. The Kashmir Valley remains unique for its tradition and culture. Nepal is also a small valley under the foot of the Himalayas, and it is accessible from Gangetic Plain through a number of passes. In the east, the Himalaya extends up to the Assam. The important mountains in the region are Patkoi, Nagai, and Lusai ranges. These hills are covered with thick forest due to heavy rain and mostly remain inhospitable. The mountains of northeast India is difficult to cross, and many parts of the region had remained in relative isolation. Second, the Indo-Gangetic Plain. The Indo-Gangetic Plain is irrigated by three important rivers, the Ganga, Indus, and Brahmaputras. This vast plain is most fertile and productive because of alluvial soil brought by the stream of river and its tributary. The Indus River rises beyond the Himalayas, and its major tributaries are the Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj, and Beas. The Punjab plains are benefited by the Indus River system. The liberal meaning of the Punjab is the land of five rivers. Sindh is situated at the lower valley of Indus. The Indus plain is known for the fertile soil. The Thar Desert and Aravalli Hills are situated in between the Indus and Gangetic plains. Mount Abu is the highest point, 5650 feet, in the Aravalli Hill. The Ganges River rises in the Himalaya, flows south and then towards the east. The river Yamuna flows almost parallel to the Ganga and then joins it. The area between these two rivers is called Doab, meaning the land between two rivers. The important tributaries of the Ganga are the Gomti, Saryu, Ghagra, and Gandak. In the east of India, the Ganges plain merges into the plain of Brahmaputra. The river Brahmaputra rises beyond the Himalayas, flows across Tibet, and then continue through the plain of northeast India. In the plain, it is vast but slow-moving river forming several islands. The Indo-Gangetic Plain has contributed to the rise of urban centers, particularly on the river bank or at the confluence of river. The Harappan culture flourished in the Indus Valley. The Vedic culture prospered in the western Gangetic Plain. Banaras, Allahabad, Agra, Delhi, and Patalputri are some of the important cities of Gangetic Plain. The city of Patalputra was situated at the confluence of the Son River, which is in river bank of the Ganga. In the ancient period, Pataliputra has remained the capital of Mauryas, Sungas, Guptas, and other kingdoms. The most important city on the western side of the Gangetic Plain is Delhi. Most of the decisive battle of Indian history such as Kurukshetra, Tarain and Panipat were fought near Delhi. Also this plain had always been a source of temptation and attraction for the foreigner invader due to its fertility and productivity. Wealth, important power fought for the possession of these plains and valleys, especially the Ganga Yamuna Doab, proved to be the most covered and contested area. The river in the region served as arteries of commerce and the communication. In ancient time, it was difficult to make roads, and so men and material were moved by the boats. The importance of the river for communication continued till the day of the East India. Third, the southern peninsula. The Vindhya and Satpura mountain along the Narmada and the Tapti river from the great dividing line between northern and southern India. The plateau to the south of the Vindhya mountain is known as Deccan Plate. It consists of volcano rock, which is different from the northern mountain. As these rocks are easier to cut into, we find a number of rock-cut monasteries and temples in the Deccan. The Deccan Plateau is flanked by the Eastern Ghat and Western Ghat. The Coromandel coast stand between the East Ghat and the Bay of Bengal. The Western Ghat runs along the Arabic Sea, and the land between these are known as Konkan up to Goa, and beyond that is Kanara. The southernmost part is known as Malabar coast. The passes in the Western Ghat like Junnar, Kanheri and Karle linked the trade route to the western ports. The Deccan Plateau acted as the bridge between the northern and the southern India. However, the dense forest in the Vindhya mountains make this region isolated from the north. The language and the culture in the southern peninsula are preserved intact for a long time due to the geographical isolation. In the southern end remain the famous Palghat Pass. It is the passage across the Ghat from the Kaveri Valley to the Malabar Ghat. The Palghat Pass was an important trade route for the Indo-Roman trade in the ancient time. The Anaimudi is the highest peak in the southern peninsula. Dodda Beta is another highest peak in the western Ghat. The eastern Ghat is not very high and have several openings caused by the eastward flows of the river into the Bay of Bengal. The port cities of Arikumedu, Mallapuram and Kaveri Pattanam were situated on the Coromandel coast. The major rivers of the southern peninsula are almost running parallel. Mahanadi is the eastern end of the peninsula. Narmada and Tapti run from east to west. Other rivers like Godavari, Krishna, Tungabhadra and Kaveri flow from west to east. These rivers make the plateau into the fertile rice productive soil. Throughout history, the region between Krishna and Tungabhadra, Raichur Doab, remains a bone of contention between the major kingdom of the south. The deltaic plain formed by two rivers at their mouth because are famous under the Satvahan. A number of town and port flourished in these plains in the beginnings of the Christian era. The Kaveri Delta constituted a distinct geographical zone in far south. It became the seat of the Chola power. The Kaveri Basin, with its rich tradition, language, and culture, has flourished from the ancient time. As the southern peninsula is gifted with a long coastline, the people of this region look keen, interested in the maritime activities. A great deal of trade and commerce went on through the seaways from the earliest time. In the east, mariner reached countries like Java, Sumatra, Burma, and Cambodia. Apart from trade, they spread Indian art, religion, and culture in these parts of the world. The commercial contract between South India and the Greco-Roman countries flourished along with cultural relations. India, a land of unity in diversity. The history of ancient India is interesting because of India proved to be a melting pot of numerous races. The pre-Aryan and the Indo-Aryan, the Greek and the Scythian, the Hunas and the Turks, etc., made India their home. Each ethnic group contribute its might to be making of Indian culture. All these people mixed up so inextricably with one another that at present none of them can be identified in their original form. Different culture mingled with one another through the ages. Many pre-Aryan or Dravidian terms occur in the Vedic text. Similarly, many Pali and Sanskrit terms appear in Sangam literature. Since ancient time, India has been the land of several religions. Ancient India witnessed the birth of Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism, but all these cultures and religions intermingled with one another. Although Indian people speak different language, practices different religions, and observe different social customs, they follow certain common styles of life throughout the country. Therefore, the country saw a deep underlying unity in spite of great diversity. In fact, the ancient strove for unity. They look upon the vast subcontinent as one land. The name Bharatvarsha, or the land of Bharata, was given to the whole country after the name of ancient tribe called the Bharatas. Our ancient poets, philosophers, and writers viewed the country as an integral unit. The kind of political unity was settled as least two during the Mauryan and Gupta's empire. The unity of India was also recognized by foreigners. They first came into contact with the people having on the Sindhu or the Indus, and so they named the whole country after the river. The word Hind is derived from the Sanskrit term Sindhu, and it come to the time of countries came to be known as India in Greek and Hind in Persian and Arabic language. Efforts for the linguistic and cultural unity by the country were made through the ages. In the 3rd century BC, Prakriti language served as the lingua franca of the country. Throughout the major portion of India, Asoka's inscriptions were written in the Prakriti language, also the ancient epics. The Ramayana and the Mahabharata were studied with the same zeal and devotion throughout the country. Originally composed in Sanskrit, these epics come to be presented in different local languages, although the Indian culture values and ideas were expressed in different form. The substance remained the same throughout the country. Hence, India has emerged a multi-religional and multicultural society. However, the underlying unity and integrity and the plural character of Indian society remained the real strength for the development of the country.